Hi guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk about intentional living, and this is something that has really been a theme to my life this past year, but I haven't had a lot of opportunity to shed light on it because when things were actively happening I didn't feel like it was appropriate to disclose information about these things. But to live from a place of intention is really a gift, but it's something that a lot of us learn not to do from a pretty young age. We start making decisions on what we should do, what we could do, what other people would do, but we don't really check in with ourselves with every single decision. We are starting to be guided by other people's ideas and beliefs. You get to a point where you get so far away from intentional living that your life's not even yours. And the way to really live a life that's full of intentional living is to make every decision intentional. So you are literally sitting there and taking a moment to evaluate how that said decision makes you feel before you decide what you're going to do. 3 major things that I had to be super intentional about this year. They really were the first domino to me living a very intentional life because they were really big decisions. Like a little before quarantine started, I applied for a position for a DOU job, or a direct observation unit. So that's like right below critical care. For most nurses, critical care is the type of unit where you feel pretty accomplished that you have worked in that specialty. DOU for me was like the next logical step for me to be able to progress to a potential ICU position. And I'd already been looking for almost a year for different opportunities to move into a different specialty, and so I applied for this DOU job. I did the interviewing, everything. It's a night position, and everybody had already moved from night shift to day shift, so I was the first person to be on the waiting list. If you guys don't know, when you go into nursing, there is a waiting list for most hospitals. So if you want to go to day shift, you have to do your time, essentially. This is one of the parts I don't like about nursing. I mean, it makes sense why they do it that way, but it's kind of unfair because any of the specialties that are enjoyable to work in, you pretty much have to do your time, and it's just not for everyone. Shift is very difficult. I know for me personally, when I'm on day shift, I do really great. My life is really great. But when I was on night shift, I had extreme anxiety, and I pretty much didn't sleep for 7 months straight. I could not sleep. And a lot of people say oh, well, it took me a year to get used to night shift. And to me, a year is a really long time to not sleep. So I did the interviews and I got this job. It was so cool that I received this opportunity, but Cyrus was getting me to really think about and evaluate whether I wanted to take this position because he remembered how miserable I was when I was on night shift. I, being the person that I am, was like, no, I have to take this position. I need to put this on my resume. I need to take this next step because otherwise, where else can I move? And especially I was working in a healthcare system where they have pensions, so people don't leave. People stay there for 20 years. So if you don't take the night shift position, you're probably not going to get into the unit you want. It's very unlikely that there wouldn't be a waiting list somewhere else. So I was like, this is best of all worlds. I'm first on the waiting list. And when he asked me to think about whether I really wanted this job and was telling me he didn't want me to take it, it was very upsetting for me. I was like, what else am I supposed to do? I felt stuck. But it made me think, as I went and got closer to wanting to tell them that I was going to accept the position, I kept feeling the heaviest resistance, and I kept feeling a literal sadness in my soul about taking this job. And so I sat and I really sat and felt into that energy, and bringing back the feelings it had when I was previously on night shift. If you guys don't know, when I was previously on night shift, I was literally praying for any opportunity to get off night shift to the point where I was like, I will quit my job if I have to because I can't do it anymore. I realized, even though I was dying, I couldn't bring myself to tell them I wouldn't accept the job because I wanted the job that bad, that I just couldn't do it. I really had to be honest with myself, and that was such a hard choice to make. Well, fast forward, whatever, 8 months, 9 months, pandemic is happening. And Cyrus had been living down here for the summer. We had been trying to find ways to move for like over a year, but we just couldn't find ways where our jobs were aligning. And so he got permission to work from home. I was like, that's it. I'm in this position. I don't want to do this any longer. So what are my choices? What would make me happy? And I had to decide whether I wanted to quit my job to move down here and have no job, or to stay there and keep working to save money. And for a while, I started to feel like that job was literally the textbook definition of working a job you hate just for money. And as much as I love to make money, it was making me feel so bad and so purposeless. I finally made the decision that I was going to quit my job. And that was a very similar experience. I had to sit there and I had to weigh into it. And literally, even before I told my manager, I felt like I was going to low-key have a panic attack, like quitting a adult job where they have to retrain someone and that your team depends on you is really stressful. But it's funny because all in all, none of those people really care about you that much, and it's your life. But when I thought about, okay, well, what if I stay at this job one more month in hopes that I find a job where I'm moving, it literally ate my soul. It made me feel so unhappy. And so I followed my happiness. Again, I was like, I'm not going to take this job I'm not going to keep this job because I know it's not going to make me happy. Again, it was the scariest choice. It felt like I was jumping without a parachute. And I really had no idea how the universe was going to figure out how to support me, but I had been getting all these signs from the universe that it was meant to be, and I was seeing angel numbers literally every 2 hours after I quit my job up until when I moved, and that was very supporting. But we'll talk about angel numbers in a different day. And I got to Utah, and I had fully accepted that I was not going to have a job here for a while, and I was just going to try to work on my own thing. I was like, you know what, this is my opportunity. I have the money, I have money saved. I'm going to work towards me, what I want to do for me. And then I get a call for the job that I did apply to out this way. It's actually in Vegas, and I literally already have a nursing license in Vegas. Like, everything was in motion. I was fully wanting to make the jump from a full-time job to another full-time job, but at this point I'd already overcome my fear. I'd already accepted that I wasn't going to be working. I'd already told my manager and accepted the fear, was already liberated by the freedom of it all. And so I got this call for a pediatric position that I really wanted. I really, really wanted like 3 months ago, but at the time, the people that would do the hiring was no longer with the company, and they were bringing somebody else. They were onboarding somebody else. It took a while, and I thought, okay, this job's already passed. They're not going to pick me. But in the end, they did call me for the opportunity, and then they wanted to bring me on for a panel interview, and I had to ask myself again. I was like, oh my God, this is everything that I wanted. It's a pediatrics position. I'll be making good money still. I wanted a job when I would move here, so I wouldn't be unemployed. But it just didn't feel right. And although I went back and forth, in the end, I sat with what made me happy, and the idea made me feel so unhappy. And so I said no. It's funny because the things that we want take time to come into manifestation and fruition. It's called buffer of time. But during that buffer of time, a lot of things can change. So, I did want to do critical care, and the opportunity came, and yet I said no. I did want to make a lot of money, and yet the opportunity was there, and I turned away from it. I did want to work in pediatrics. When I graduated, I said I would be a NICU nurse. Well, that clearly did not happen. I turned away from that. And here I am, literally following my heart and following my happiness, and I've never been happier. So I don't have the answers, and I don't know what's going to happen, but the universe has shown me in so many different ways that I didn't make a mistake by making those choices. And that is the power of intuitive decision making. When you align with who you are, your life starts to feel like a flow, and when you're in a flow, more things come to you because you're matching the vibration of what's meant for you. I hope that this can be inspiring for you. This pediatrics job is something that I have brought up on Instagram, where I talked about how I should be so happy and I feel so blessed and be so grateful for the opportunity that had come my way, and yet there I was feeling so sad inside because I knew it was going to pull me away from dedicating time to doing what I'm doing now, which is creating content and sharing my lessons and connecting with people that are similar to me. Whereas in that space, I didn't feel that I was surrounded by people that connect with me, and I didn't feel like I was surrounded by energy source that was connected with me. And because of that, I don't know if you guys have seen my calendar exercise. I'll put a link to that for my Instagram, but because of the way I was spending my time in a low vibration for the majority of my time, I was never attracting the vibration that matched who I was and what I wanted and where I wanted to go next. I hope that this can help you make a choice the next time you have something that comes up that you feel like this is it, this is the thing I've been waiting for, and you realize you've had a change of heart, that it's okay to change. Like, we are changing all the time. I am a totally different person from 2 years ago, from 4 years ago, from 6 years ago, and I cannot freaking wait to see the person that I will be 2 years from now. And I can't freaking wait to see the people that you guys will be 2 years from now. And I hope to connect more with you guys through Instagram and through my content. Please let me know if there's anything that you guys are interested in hearing me discuss or touch base on. And gotta do it, like and subscribe, because then I know what kind of content you like. Thank you so much.